on paper, I'm still Catholic. Like on paper, I still have to be Catholic. Islam is not recognized as a church. You have to be registered as a church. Self-funded, we need the YouTube money. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to pull membership fees. We want to have our own cemetery because we will die. So we need to have, and it's not recognized to be buried like that. So we need to be dead properly.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم Jan, how you doing?
Walaikum assalam, I'm doing well. Yeah.
So Jan, you're Slovak, I believe, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm 33. I'm a business guy. I have a family. I'm Slovak. I'm a revert. So I'm also I am a YouTuber, kind of YouTuber, not really full time. I make videos, and I'm the imam of our masjid here in Slovakia. There are many things I don't know how to package myself quickly, but that's pretty much it up.
You are an imam of your masjid, you said. Like, where did you get your Islamic knowledge?
From YouTube.
From YouTube,
nowhere,
nice.
Because there's no one here, right? Like Slovakia doesn't recognize Islam.
So you became Muslim from being in Slovakia rather than moving to another country.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays people become Muslim anywhere because it's all on YouTube, so you can get knowledge anywhere. So you don't really have to travel that much. But I became a Muslim first, and then I wasn't living in Slovakia, but I came back like 2 years ago for the purpose of like establishing something for Islam here. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So you want to say a little bit about your imam, your scholarships? Like, do we have knowledgeable people in Slovakia?
I'm not a scholar.
You're not a scholar, but like, do we have?
Imam can be like anyone who's just the leader of community. There's really like you just have to pray Al-Fatiha and then you can be the imam. Because our community, there's no one here. I'm not sure you understand the context. It's zero. Islamic knowledge, Islam is not recognized. There's no mosque. So that's the context where I'm the imam. In reality, when I go outside and I'm in Muslim country or I'm in London or anywhere, I'm like a below average Muslim, like below average. So, like if you would live here, you would be the imam probably. So that's the reality. So it sounds great, but it's not that amazing.
No, definitely you need people of knowledge. So you say there are a lot of lack of scholars, but I saw in one of your Instagram posts you posted something about Banska Bystrica.
Yeah,
and it's your town. You said I think in your caption you wrote in the description you wrote it's a Muslim town. So is it like a Muslim town itself, or is it like because you are there?
It's just because I'm here and the community is here and the masjid's here, but the community is like 50 people, that's it. So everything, you have to understand the context. I think looking from outside, it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm kind of joking with my Instagram, like, because reality is much more difficult. So I wouldn't take myself seriously that much. I am the imam, I do khutbahs, I do jumas, we're editing nikah of people and stuff, like I'm doing that, but that's just because of necessity. There's no one else. So it's not like I want to do it, like I'm not qualified at all. I have no Islamic knowledge, nothing. So I just want to put myself down really like.
So would you ask like the Muslim community abroad within European countries to maybe like, send their knowledgeable person?
No, they will not even respond to us. So Muslims don't help us. Don't worry.
Maybe inshallah they'll help you. Inshallah.
Maybe, but like it's not lucrative here, like what, leading 50 people in a small town, it's not gonna be anyone that will help us. And I've been trying to get help, but no one seems to be interested, so we gotta do it on our own. But we are getting money from people from YouTube, so that's great. We are getting funds so we can keep up the masjid. So alhamdulillah for that. That's all we need. I don't think we need a scholar for such a small community, but as we grow, maybe in 5 years, there's like 500 people, then maybe it would be better.
Okay, and in one of your posts, I saw that the biggest masjid is not in Bratislava. So is it true that they have a masjid in Slovakia? I believe it's not in your hometown, but it's in a different city.
Oh, it's a masjid by like Islamic standards. By fiqh, it's a masjid because they own the building, but in reality, it's not recognized by the government. So in Islamic terms, it's a masjid. What we have is a musalla, but in reality, on paper, there is no masjid. So the masjid is just an Islamic context. There's one, but it's not in our time. It's very far away, and yeah.
So it is treated as a masjid.
Yeah, that's where exactly I wanted to go. What is the Muslim population in Slovakia?
I think it was like somewhere like 3,000 or 5,000. I'm not sure, something like that. Latest census could be more.
The census was about, when I checked, it was about 6,000 Muslims.
Could be. It's somewhere like that. 5,000. I don't know. It keeps changing. But I'm not really keeping track of that, to be honest. It's super tiny, you know.
Very small, yeah. And most of them are concentrated in the city Bratislava, or?
Of course, yeah.
Obviously, okay. And is the biggest masjid which you posted, is it in Bratislava? I mean, you said clearly that it's not in Bratislava.
It's in the second biggest town on the other side of the country, in Košice, it's called, yeah. So.
Okay, Košice.
Interesting. So, what is your project exactly? Why are you, doing this YouTube thing? What is your goals and what are your objectives?
My goal or my niya is really to help the community get the word out there, because basically we're self-funded. We don't need any government, anyone like that. So our government doesn't help us, but we are registered as like an official NGO or something like that. So at least that's good. So people are not afraid to come there. Officially, we're kind of like an Islamic center that helps reavers to adjust to a new Islamic life, which is kind of the main idea. So we are mostly focused on Slovak Muslims, not really immigrants, because they just need a place for Juma, but they don't really care that much about us. You know, they just come to pray. But I care about like, what about our future? Like my people, you know, we need to give them dawah. Like they need to be aware of what we're doing. And we have many shahadas, or not many, but like people who come here, they come to us because they know we're exactly built for that. There's nothing else, like no one else is doing this. So it's actually quite unique in that sense. So that's one reason. So self-funded, we need the YouTube money. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to pull membership fees. So alhamdulillah, that's working great. And then, yeah, that's why I'm on YouTube, actually. That's my whole reason. I don't really promote anything on YouTube. For me, nothing. I have my businesses. It's completely my own life. I don't put it to my YouTube. No one even knows I'm a YouTuber in my business world. And in my YouTube, no one knows I'm like a business guy. So none of that is intertwined, so that I have my like niya kind of straight on this like masjid. That's it. Basically, in the future, we want to have our own cemetery, because we will die. So we need to have, and it's not recognized to be buried like that. So we need to be dead properly. And then also we need to kind of have our own building, inshallah, in a few years once the community grows. So basically, the focus is to grow the community from. We started 2 people a year ago, year and a half. Now we're 50. We want to go to, let's say, 150, 200, 500. So at that moment, we can have like the land and some building, so our kids can learn different things and kind of like a small madrasa type of thing. Even though it wouldn't be recognized, I don't really care about that, because we can self-fund ourselves from YouTube. So people know all around. I was in Saudi, I was everywhere, and people, when they recognize me or something, they know that we have a masjid. And it's kind of unique because no one is like that. Like masjids are everywhere, but they are like unknown typically, or they are built by like community, or perhaps through like association, like Turkish government or Saudi government backed. But then it comes with strings attached. They send their imams, and then we would have basically a Turkish mosque here, which doesn't fit. Like that's not for Saudi mosque. Like it's completely miscultured. It wouldn't even work, right? So to have local, like to build Slovak is not Slovak Islam, but Slovak culture in Islam, you need to have like a Slovak person managing it, and have like a scholar or somebody, but it has to be run for this context. People knowing like how people are in this culture. It's different than the UK. It's different than other countries, and you have to know this. You can't just impose, foreign mosque, and it's just not going to work. Or it's going to be like people will just look at it like, what is this? This is not part of the country. We try to kind of break that stereotype, like saying, no, there is something like the Slovak Muslim. It's not an oxymoron. That's possible. But, we're starting. So maybe my grandsons will take it somewhere else. But this is just a pilot.
Inshallah.
We're first, basically. There's no one else before us. Except
Okay.
we were part of the Ottoman Empire. So there was like jizya taxes and stuff, but no one left here any masjids. There was no Turks just came in, took the money and left. But they didn't really, the people, they didn't even know they are part of the empire. Like no one basically cared because it was switching empires all the time. So they didn't build anything here. So there's no Muslims actually at all. In Hungary, it's a bit different, lower, and like Serbia and Bosnia and all that. But like we are kind of like no Muslims at all. So
you were the gray zone for.
Yeah, we were like the upper end of the empire, and then we were just like autonomous. There was no Turks here, just kind of like part of the empire. But what does it really mean? There's no borders in the empires. So it's
What
not
about-
like today.
What about, for instance, you have in Ukraine and Poland, you have these Tatar Muslims. So what about Tatar Muslims? Do you have any Tatar Muslim community in Slovakia?
No, these guys are only in Ukraine, in Crimea, which is the territory where Russia is now. So that's the disputed territory. And in Poland, they are basically all assimilated 100%. So they drink alcohol. They just look at Islam as their culture. They have no concept of Islam. So the Tatars in Poland, or maybe a slightly minority does, I don't want to say no, but 90% of them were assimilated in the mainstream Polish culture. So they don't exist, basically. It's the similar size maybe as we are at this point. So it's like negligible. The Ukrainians do exist, but they are fighting in a war. So I don't know. No, I have no idea what they are doing. But there's no influence from the east, west, south, or north. We are like alone, nothing. This is like very unique. It's never been here.
It's fresh ground for Muslims. Like
it's the only country like that in the world. It's not possible. In Ukraine, there's masjids. In Poland, in the Western Europe, and in South, we don't have any. We were never connected. So it's a big thing. We are very close-minded in terms of conservative people. So we don't like foreigners, and it's very strange, to be like a Slovak Muslim. It's not like British Muslim. British Muslim is easy. If I was British convert, it's not nothing. There's 4,000 mosques. I mean, come on, we don't have any. So
what kind of Christians are mostly in Slovakia? Are they Orthodox or are they Catholics?
Yeah, it's like a mix, but 60% Catholic. I was Catholic as well. That's a majority, huge majority, and like tiny bit of Orthodox, like 10-15%, and then some Greek Catholic, but whatever. Like 80% Christian, 85, I would say. Some Jews, but really minority. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I mean, if you have like different kinds of Christianity, it's a ground for conflict, like Yugoslavia. So, do you have any kind of conflicts in Slovenia between these minority groups, or not really?
No, we never had any conflicts. You're mixing Yugoslavia, Slovenia, and Slovakia. Slovakia was never part of any conflict.
Yeah,
so
I'm saying
only Slovenia or Yugoslavia, they have conflicts because they have ethnic groups. We are homogeneous. We were never part of any groups. So we are basically, we never had any issues except like Holocaust and like all these big things like World War. Of course, everybody was part of that. But we never had these ethnic cleansings or nothing like that because we are not in South Europe like Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia means South Europe. Yugoslav means South Slav. We are Western Slavs. So it's a different type of Slavic person. And us, Czechs and Polish, we don't really have these ethnic wars that much at all. We are actually kind of related like brothers. We don't view it as a problem. The problem is in the South. They have like issues, Serbs, Croats, all these guys. Slavic people tend to be nasty, and the Eastern guys, Russians and Ukrainians, they go crazy. So we are like in the most civilized Slavic, I would say, the Western Slavs, because Slavic are civilized people, and not civilized, but I mean, you can kind of see the difference between like an English guy and like a Slavic person. Like it's a white guy, but it's a different guy, different person, different culture, whatever.
What is the conversion rate? So before I come to the conversion rate, let me ask you, what is the population concentrated in Slovakia, Muslim population? Are they mostly students? Are they people who come to work? Are they, what kind of groups usually come to Slovakia?
To be honest, I have no idea about this. Whatever I say is just a guess, and it shouldn't be taken because you need research on that. I have no idea at all. What we have, like here, I can tell you what we have here, and then extrapolate that, I guess. But there are no immigrants like you see in Western Europe, where they kind of poor. Here, there's only rich immigrants. So we have a lot of Muslim doctors. So we have like Egyptians, Palestinians everywhere. All these guys are working here, and they work in all the hospitals because we don't have doctors, so they come to work here. And we have good like universities for doctors, I think. So they come study and learn, and they have private ambulances and private like clinics. There's a lot of these guys like dentists. All of
So
these guys
mostly
are coming. So
students,
they
I
are
would
like
say.
highly educated professionals. They are not students. They are already like guys who are 40. They have like surgeons or people like that. Not students. Students, yes, they tend to come as well, but then they leave probably. But these guys live here. Like they actually came opposite hijrah to live here. So that's the majority. I think these doctor type of Muslims. So like good type of immigration where people don't have problem with it because they're actually contributing to, so everybody likes them. Like here it's like the opposite, where you're a Muslim in a typical Slovak school, you'll be like very happy because you're so unique. We don't see that. So it's not like maybe in the UK you have like 20 Muslims in one classroom, then it's a bit of a problem because they're becoming a majority. But if it's like one, he's like very unique, everybody wants to know about him.
Yeah.
So that's where we are, and he's typically a kid of like rich Muslims, or either Muslims we have a halal shop, or typically they open a bunch of businesses, so they are not like struggling. They are not like these Muslims maybe from Pakistan or India, or who work on taxis. We don't have that at all, none of that. Also, only the guys who are like coming for money, basically, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And the students, yeah.
And students. So, was there any protests for Palestine in Slovakia, or is it like because there's nobody's doing anything?
There was actually like a few days ago. It's pretty big, actually. I wasn't there, but it was in Bratislava. But it's organized. There's zero Muslims there, so the organizers are not kind of ideal for us because they are like they have blue hair, blonde eyes, not blonde eyes, how would I say? Yeah, from the different ideology. So to stand with them, it's weird. So that's why no Muslims go there. But it's a big protest, like huge. Actually, it was pretty big, but I still think it's, no one cares pretty much.
So Muslims don't engage you, that's what you say. But like, what about the support for Palestine in ground? Like, do people in ground are more favorable towards the Palestinian side?
No one cares about this. We are worried about Ukraine. That's next door. So you have different contexts. Like Ukraine is 100% more important to us, not to me as a Muslim, but in reality, it's more important because what happens in Ukraine will determine our fate. What happens in Palestine will not determine Slovak at all. Like if it destroys it or if it comes back, for a non-Muslim or for a Slovak person, we don't even know. We've never heard of it. So like, why do I even care? It's like a conflict, in Bangladesh. Like, what am I supposed to? Or in South America, it's so far from here. People don't even have an opinion on it.
So generally, people are not concerned
at all.
Okay.
Slight percentages. And as a Muslim, I am concerned, but different reasons, not like a reason like something's going to change in my life, because whether Israelis or Palestinians or whatever side wins, it doesn't affect my life here at all. But it does affect global affairs. It does affect everything in the Ummah. So that's why I care. But non-Muslims don't have this view, so they don't care.
What is the conversion rate in Slovakia? Like how many people do you think in a year come to Islam?
I have no idea. I wouldn't. These are very academic questions. I would have to look at some data. I don't even know. I don't think they measure it because you can't convert to Islam officially. So how do you measure it? There's no Islam like a religion, so you can't convert. So, on paper, I'm still Catholic. Like on paper, I still have to be Catholic. So I can go outside of, like, it's not possible Islam is not recognized as a church. You have to be registered as a church. That's not here. So you're not converting. So that is impossible to get.
Would you recommend, more Muslims to come to Slovakia? Maybe it can change in the future or something.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but we have these crazy laws against Islam. Not against Islam, but indirectly they are. So you need like 50,000 signatures to register a new church, which we all know is against Muslims. So that's never going to happen now, maybe in 20, 50 years. But now we don't have those numbers. So, and you have to have like permanent residency and all these things. So Muslims who are coming here, they are not counted as Muslims. So you have to be born, blah blah blah. So it's very difficult. We have to change the law. So I'm looking at the law and studying it, asking one lawyer, what can we do, how to. Because I worked in politics before, so I'm kind of interested. But it's a long game, like for 10 years. But yeah, Muslims should come here. Like it's easy, it's good life here. Like I mean, I like it here. That's why I'm here. If I didn't like it, I would leave. So I have great life. I have a mission. Slovakia is beautiful nature, great people. It's just Islam is difficult, but it's easy. Like in terms of like no one even knows about it. So that's what makes it kind of.
So no one bothers your way of life.
Sorry.
No one bothers your way of life.
Yeah, I think no one cares that much.
And let's say you have let's say somebody wants to, as you said, doctors or engineers. Do you think they have future there, economically and also for their family? Like in Western Europe, you might have.
Their kids are in Slovak schools, so I know them. So they are telling me how good it is, or like in their school they're like unique.
Okay.
But I mean, typically they don't want to probably stay here because you want to probably go to a bigger country or whatever as a young guy, pursue some better careers. I don't know, because we are not like the UK perhaps, where you have all these opportunities. We have opportunities, but it's still limited. And you have better things in London, for example, of course. But it's a good, like it's a good life here. It's not a problem.
My question would be like, do you have any problems, for instance, like the curriculum?
Oh, okay.
Do you have that in schools and stuff?
Actually, we have a government kind of against it, and they are like putting laws against this. So it's actually the opposite.
They have
the issues, yeah. Because we are conservative, so like our government now is super like conservative, but on the paper they are like stealing a bunch of money. But in reality, they try to put this effort like we're fighting liberalism, but they are like not good option. Like they are like actually dictatorial, I would say, in a sense where they control every power in the country. They control the courts and this and this. So they are going against this liberal Western type of thing, because we're not part of the West technically. We are, but we are kind of like fighting them as well in our own. Like 50% is with Russia, 50% not. It's still like unclear what we are. We are still like, where are we? Even though we're part of Europe, we have Euro, we have all these things, but we're still like the local people are not on board. So typically, it's very populistic, kind of Donald Trumpish president. He was actually shot prime minister of our country a few months ago by a liberal guy. So there was a big news globally. And then he recovered. So I don't think that's our problem. It's not liberal here. But it doesn't mean it's good. That doesn't mean it's good as well. It's like imagine super right-wing left right-wing conservative government. I can imagine like super Catholic that's against Islam 100%, like super Islamophobic, but from a different side, not from like a liberal side, but like we hate you for who you are. You are going against Christ, our Savior, like that type of hate, which is like a spiritual hate. It's even more dangerous, I think. Not for me, but like that's the overall narrative. So whether you go with right wing or left wing, both of them are bad.
Of course. I'm just curious, like, because maybe
it's more right wing. It was always right wing country. We were even part of Nazism. We were the first on board. We gave up all of our Jews in the Holocaust. Like really, we were the first to do this stuff. So we are more right wing country, and we even skinheads everywhere we had. And like when I was young, it was really popular to be skinhead, to be like this type of person. And the left wing is more Czech Republic. When we were Czechoslovakia, that was a country before. When we were together with Czechs, they were more left wing, more urban, more like smart. We're like backwards, agrarian, and right wing. There was always a split, and this is Christian, and they were super atheists, like super atheists, liberals. So it's that's kind of what we are.
I get it. So what about the viral post that went on? I think you posted this video a month ago in your YouTube channel. It's about the right wing.
It was a Twitter post.
It was a Twitter post. So the right wing was, coming behind you, like knocking doors or something, or just like it was a Twitter aggression.
They would never do that. We have their former members in our Jama has like 3 right wing former members who are leading their organization. They became Muslims, so I'm not worried.
Interesting.
That's what I said. Like, we have this background in right wing extremism, so you're naturally gonna get those guys. But Islam cleansed them. Like, they're married with like super hippie women now, from former hippies. Anyways, so these guys just online, it was nice because it goes against everything you can imagine. Because I even said in the post, like, we're eating halushki, which is our dish with bacon. It comes with bacon. You have to have bacon. And I said, we're doing halal bacon, where we just bought like a sausage and we roasted it and made it halal. And so this is how you introduce like a new, like, you don't get rid of your dish, you make it halal. You don't put kebab here. You do the same dish, just make it halal. And this is how we are creating new Islam here, like this new culture. We are, and people just hated it. We get like 2 million views, or I don't know. It was crazy. We were shared on all the right wing channels, like we are betraying everybody in Europe and our race, and we should be killed. And like they would make memes out of us. Like, it was crazy. But I was just laughing at it, like, wow, that's nice. Even the big Twitter accounts shared us, like going like hard against us. And it's just crybabies. I was laughing at it, like, wow, that's crazy. So that was nice.
So you definitely have problems with what do you call halal meat?
No, not at all.
No, really?
No, we have a halal shop here, so it's fine. We have a halal shop in our town.
1 or 2, like it's not very popular. Halal restaurants. Do you have
like a halal shop? A Syrian guy selling halal meat, so I can get it. So it's easy. And then we have Tesco's and all these stores. And we know which meat is halal. They don't put it because it's not recognized, but we have contacted the manufacturers or the guys who are producing it, and we know which is halal. So we have like photos in the masjid, like which meat you can buy if you want this and this. So it's actually super easy. Like in every store, like in Lidl, whatever stores you have, you go in, and I know which brands are halal. I just take them.
Okay,
and,
so
we have a farm. We just do our own animals. We slaughter them halal. I did that as well. So we eat them. We are Slovak. We are like village people. So no issues with slaughtering animals.
What about Bratislava? Do you think in Bratislava you have people who know these things?
They have a halal shop there as well. So and many restaurants that are halal. Not restaurants, mostly kebab stores. But I think the halal store, the halal thing is that issue. I've never seen it as issue. But really, I eat at home a lot. Like today, my wife made our national dish as well, and it was amazing. Like, and we're going now for a Muslim hike, and we're eating because we have our farms as well. So we have animals. We can my friend just calls me like, hey, I have a rabbit. I'm just slaughtering him. Does your son want rabbit? And just give me. So it's like this type of natural life, plus the stores.
Organic as well. That's nice.
Yeah, you just have to be plugged in community and know it. If you're like coming in as a new Muslim, you'll be confused. You don't think nothing exists. You just have to know. So it takes you a few years.
So do you have any programs for non-Muslims? Or let's say you said you're doing a tajweed class. But do you have any classes for children or anything like that, or giving dawah?
Because we just started for kids, but it's us, So when the teacher is not available, we're canceling the class. It's only us, really, just us as Muslims who are actually not fully there. I have my family. I can't be all the time in a masjid. I'm hardly there a few times a week if I can. So it's limitation. We can't do anything because there's no one else except me who has the keys and everybody else. So Over time we might do it, but now we're happy where we are, and so none of these things are possible logistically. It's not realistic.
Maybe not in your place, but let's talk about the whole of Slovakia, maybe in Bratislava or something. Do you guys have any programs?
I have no idea. I know they do some lectures, but I don't think none of the masjids are doing anything like regular at all. Sometimes maybe, but I'm telling you, this doesn't exist here. You cannot learn Islam here, and it's difficult. So
it's hard.
I don't know.
So would you say in any way, you can collaborate with students of different countries? Like, because, we have these Erasmus programs, students from different Muslim students can also participate and come to Slovakia. So how do you think we can collaborate as a Muslim ESN or something? Or I'm sure you've heard of Erasmus Student Network.
But I was a student 15 years ago. I'm old, so I don't know. I never think about students. I don't know how to collaborate with them.
No, not exactly students, but to participate, let's say for instance, Palestine issue, or to connect with the Ummah, at least within the European framework. So is there anything in mind that you have, or any ways to connect? Because I personally, I know in Poland there is a really good imam. You said you go on hikes, so I know a really good imam. He does all these projects for students. Maybe connecting Slovakian Muslims and Polish Muslims going on hike. I think they are going on hike near Tatar Mountains, where Slovakia and Poland also shares. So what about connecting and collaborating with Muslims in neighboring countries?
Do you think you would ever do that?
But there's no organization here. Poland is different. You have masjids in Warsaw. You have masjids I know Krakow. I know all these places, and it's different. It's completely different level. Here, it's super underground. Maybe you're still not getting it. Perhaps it's super underground. So there's no Muslim community. There's no Muslim community. I'm just building it, but there's not a community you can call people. They don't exist. So you have to go one by one. And these guys have their lives, and they don't care about this. They don't come here for Islam. So the guys who care about it, mostly Slovaks, they also have super busy schedules, and it's super difficult to organize. So there is no imam here. There is no community in a sense like in Poland. So you're comparing different level of Islam. Even Poland is super racist and super against Islam. It's still easier than here, super easier. So I think we have bigger issues than going on hikes. And then maybe in a few years, once we are bigger, we can go. But I don't think to be honest, super different priorities we have.
Talking about hikes and stuff.
Maybe this can break the ice, you can build bonds by knowing each other, because it's a small community. So it's not I'm giving hike as an example, but during hikes, you don't have the whole Polish community coming there, Muslim community. You have let's say 20 people. And from your side, maybe 2 or 3 people might be interested. They come here, they know each other. So it's kind of working together, knowing each other. So kind of building the bond. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about organizing a big event itself. I'm talking about working together. Yeah.
We're a step before that, where people even here don't know each other. So I'm trying to connect them. And we just did it this year, where we basically convinced people to make hijrah in this town, and then we got married, 2 couples, Slovaks. So that's great. And the kids are being born, and this is I want to have that community also like that. So there's kinship ties, and people know each other. And now we have this feeling in our town where I see a guy, I know this guy, and it has this familiarity. So we were focused on building this first. This is where we live. We need to know each other. Then we can go further. Okay, we can connect with Košice, with Bratislava, with all these places. But Poland is still quite far. We're not looking to build European alliance where we don't even know Bratislava people. We need to go step by step.
No, not just Poland. Yeah.
Some people come here. We had visits from the UK and all these. They come visit us, they check it out, and they're amazed and stuff. But that's when they join us, and usually they come here and we show them around. We have a nice weekend. This happens quite a lot, where people from the UK mostly come, and even my subscribers, they like what I'm saying, so they come see what's happening.
Yeah, inshallah, maybe we'll discuss in the future maybe how we can, know each other better and then work together, inshallah.
Yeah, I mean, you should come here if you want it.
Inshallah. Have a great day, yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.